Welcome to this special edition of the HyperFast show, where we are featuring speakers from the HyperFast Summit, which was held in Boca Raton, Florida in February of 2022. Today, you're going to hear from Jeff Pfitzer, who is a social media coach, co-host of the Lab Coat Agents podcast, and mortgage lender. In this episode, Jeff is teaching real estate agents how to use video to get more business. Check it out. Back up.
Call him Dr. Dustin. Dr. Dustin Brown to the stage.
Come on, give Carrie and Dan a round of applause for that unbelievable intro. Go, you can clap for him. Go ahead. Yeah, it's all right. Your hands are going to hurt by the end of this. You're going to be clapping so much. All right. Your next speaker is a top-producing mortgage lender, a social coach, and the host of the Lab Coat Agents podcast. Has anybody heard of Lab Coats before? Yeah. If you have social media, you probably have seen this guy. He's going to teach you how to use video to establish valuable relationships, generate leads like a pro, because when your people skills scale on social, your business can scale. So please, give a warm round of applause to Jeff Pfitzer!
Thanks, Tommy.
Let him hear it, folks. Let him hear it. Jeff Pfitzer!
All right, is this thing on? You guys know what's worse? You probably don't know the answer to this, but you know what's worse than being the first speaker at a real estate conference and being a mortgage guy? I get to talk about the one topic that most of you are scared to death of. But that is why I'm here, because I try to make video as easy and simple and efficient and make you sound as eloquent as possible. Because when I put this on the board and I say, if you video it, they will come, it's a fact. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today when I talk a little bit about myself, because if a mortgage guy can get into a room and on a stage, and I didn't have to buy donuts and I didn't have to buy booze to get here, I think I know what I'm doing when it comes to attracting an audience. Wouldn't you say so? So let's get into it. Uh-oh, sound. Take two.
Are you a social media observer or creator? The answer will determine whether you like to waste time or make money. You see, it is a very small fraternity of social media users who are consistent creators. So if you are serious about growing your business with social media, you need to join that small minority of users who are creators. And to be a creator, you need to be thinking every single day, how can I bring value to my audience? You need to become comfortable on video. You need to learn basic video editing skills. You need to learn how to hook your audience into your posts. You need to become good at writing strong captions. You need to be good at telling stories. You need to understand hashtags and how to use them. You see, all of these components of creation are critical to creating a brand that will stand out, grow a following, and create engagement. And listen, these skills won't happen overnight, but with the right amount of desire, will, and discipline, you can acquire all of these skills to position yourself ahead of most of your competition. Couple this with a little bit of patience and consistency, and you will take your business to places you probably never imagined. Take it from me. I'm living proof of the power of execution on all of the above. So I ask you one more time, do you want to be a creator?
It's a good question, and the reality is I'm going to show you guys actually how I made that video, because it's a hell of a lot easier, because I think a lot of you look at that, and a lot of people look at my content, and they're like, damn, dude, you're just good. You're just eloquent. No, I'm not. I practiced, and I used some tools that allow me to do that, and I'm going to show you guys how. But a little bit about me first, just because I think I have to give this context. So it started with Closing Table Mastermind, actually, where I met Carrie, and I met Tristan Ahumada. And a lot of you know Tristan, obviously. Tristan's like the godfather of real estate, the godfather of social media as it pertains to real estate, and he's become a really good friend and a business partner. It started with me hosting Lab Coat Agents one-day events. I did one in St. Louis, and then Tristan was like, this was killer. I want you to do more of this stuff for me, which led to me hosting the Lab Coat Agents podcast, which if you do not subscribe, you should. It led to me getting tons of speaking opportunities as I'm standing here right in front of you. Probably the thing I'm most proud of is being named a top 30 video influencer across the United States and Canada by BombBomb. That was really cool, and I actually was in the sales education category, so that was fun. We've founded a bunch of stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff now, so when people say I'm in the mortgage industry, if you actually know me, Carl knows me, he'd question that and say, no, Jeff's really not in the mortgage industry anymore because I've scaled out of it. I'm doing all kinds of other things now, and I just help make it rain, which I think is what a lot of you are looking to do. We have a platform called Real Estate Mastery Pros, Tristan and I, where we just educate and teach real estate agents about all things, all of the innovation that's coming in the industry. I'm a co-founder of a platform called the Business Video School, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. We have an app called Social Coach, where we actually create done-for-you content for real estate professionals. And the thing I'm probably most passionate about nowadays is a Facebook group called Drunk on Social. It's nothing to do with alcohol. If you actually look up the definition of drunk, it has nothing to do with alcohol. But it's a group that's designed to just basically talk about and teach what's going on in the social media world, the latest news, the latest tips, the latest trends, the latest innovation. It's a great place to be. We also have a podcast. We have a lot of fun. So if you've never heard of it, go check it out. It's nothing, no cost to you. Just go hang out in there. We have a lot of fun. And then, just for context, and this is the only time you'll hear me use the word mortgage again in this presentation, but I want to give this context because I think this is important. Because if you'd asked my partners 3, 4, 5 years ago where we were going to go and where we were going to be, this journey started for me in 2016. So this is right when Facebook Live started to become a thing, and video really wasn't what it is now. Right? And so I started doing video because we actually changed companies. We came back to USA, clearly. But we changed companies, and I had to think, how am I going to differentiate myself from my past company who dominates my local market? And that's when video came to me. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have this grandiose plan. I just went for it. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. And so it took a good 2 to 3 years for this really to take hold. So we were a branch or region, what you want to call us, doing roughly 600 to 700 units a year for about 100 to 130 million. Not bad. We're decent in most minds, but not in ours. And our goal was actually 200 million back then. That was where we wanted to go. So as you can see, in 2019, we had our best year ever. We did 802 units for 135 million. Then it hockey sticked. In 2020, boom. All of a sudden, shit just started rolling in. And now it's like a freight train running down the tracks to where we did in 2021, 2,200 plus units for 560 million. Thank you. And we are very proud of that. And I don't say that because, oh yeah, look at us. It's more like, this is what you can do. So put it into context and don't think in these numbers. If you're an agent, you did 20 units last year, you can do 40. You can do 60. How much would it change your life if you did 100, right? That's how you have to think about this, and I shouldn't say you have to, but I highly encourage you to innovate in your business. I'm not saying video is the only way to do it. Michelle's going to tell me that. I told you I was going to call you out. But I do believe if you want to create differentiation and separation, video is the way to go, and we're going to give you all kinds of tips today on that. Oh, and by the way, we're actually about ready to merge with another potential region within our company because they want access to my network, which is real estate on a national level, and we're going to go overnight to 1.2 billion, just like that. So yeah, this is exciting stuff, but I say this because this could be exciting for a lot of you as well. So let's start with some basics. Why does video matter? I think you know this, but I'm going to beat it into your brain, right? Viewers retain so much more through video than they do when reading a text. We're becoming a lazier society, so lazy actually, that they don't even watch all of your videos anymore, right? They give you about 1 to 3 seconds, and we're going to talk about that later. But all of the platforms are going to the place where you have to be on video because they are not going to read 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. They're just not, and it's getting worse. And the younger generations are going to lead this. You guys know this. If you have kids, I have teenagers. They're the ones who taught me everything I know. And I watch them, and they don't read anything. They're just It's just the way they're now bred. I guess I shouldn't even call them lazy. I think I can because I have kids. But and I know we've got at least one 16-year-old in the crowd, so he can probably relate to this. I might call you out a couple of times. Building relationships through video. Have you guys heard the term parasocial relationships? So parasocial relationships, if you don't know what this means, it's like the relationship that I had with Maverick and Goose in Top Gun. Like, I felt like I was pretty tight with them, but they didn't know who the hell I was, right? The same concept, but that's the reality that we live in today. If I had a nickel for every time a realtor called me from anywhere in the country and said, Jeff, I feel like I know you. You don't know me, but I really want to work with you. And I'm like, Jesus, this is amazing. You know, it's just like, boom, it just works every damn time. Imagine that happening in your local community. Imagine walking into the local grocery store and somebody's like, I recognize you. You know what you should do? You should be like, yeah. Because it's working, right? And that's the idea. You want to build these parasocial relationships because, frankly, and I like networking and I like people. I was never, when I was an originator, I was the outgoing guy. I wasn't really good at details, but I could bring business in. But I really don't love going to networking events and having that, hey, how you doing? How's business? How's your family? We don't really give a shit. We're just awkward, right? It's just awkward introductions. But I can tell you, when you flip the table and you start to build a presence online, all of a sudden you go to that same networking event and people seek you out, and it makes connecting with people so much easier. And that's the idea here, right? It is to grow business, but it's to grow your connections, because the more connections you have, the more opportunities you're going to get. And of course, it's super scalable. I mean, there's such it. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about social media, but it's such a scalable way to communicate with people. I'm also going to talk about distribution here now. This is obviously one of my favorite platforms. They don't pay me to say that. I didn't pay to get named a top 30. It's not one of those awards. You actually get it because they're watching. I tell everyone, if you've never shot one video in your entire life, you're scared to death of video, the one thing you should implement in your business is email communication through video. You don't have to do BombBomb. There's other platforms. We use BombBomb. We love BombBomb. And some of our people have literally eliminated writing emails. All they do is talk to their computer. And you will find, if you start doing this with your customers, the response you will get will be overwhelming. And you're right. Some people, you know, because I hear this all the time, I get 0 open rates. Sure, just like your social media posts sometimes get no views. That's just the name of the game, right? But if you keep doing it, you keep being consistent, eventually you're going to have that customer that says, you know what? I was talking to 3 different agents to list my house, but because you sent me that video and you explained this, that, and the other, I'm going with you. I guarantee that'll happen to some of you if you use this. Of course, distribution through social media. These are the 5 platforms that I spend the most time on. I'm actually even doing a little bit on Twitter now. But these are the places that you want to be. And I'm not saying you have to be on all 5, but ultimately, you want to be building that brand on these platforms. This is where you're going to distribute video. This is where you're going to be uncomfortable. But this is where you need to be distributing that video. So it's obviously through email. And of course, you can do things like newsletters. You can do these other places. But I know that the future of our world, and this is funny, I'm actually speaking at a big national real estate conference next month. And the topic that they asked me to speak about was the top tech and trends in 2022. And I said, why are you choosing me? Like, I'm not like the Zillow guy or, you know, the follow-up boss. That's what I think of when I think of real estate tech. And they said, no, Jeff, the future of tech, in our opinion, is through social media. And that's why we want you to talk. And I was like, damn, like, I didn't even think of it that way. But that's powerful. And you can ignore it all you want, but it's not going away. It's only going to become more powerful. I leave this slide in here because it's really not relevant anymore, but that's the point. Basically, when you are shooting video anymore, just hold your phone in vertical. Just go portrait, because all the platforms are accepting it now. Unless you have a videographer who you're shooting a video for and he's going to edit it, he might have you go horizontal. But just start using it. It blows me away when I go and speak to rooms and a lot of people ask me this question. Hold it this way. It's the way TikTok wants you to do it. It's the way Instagram now wants you to do it, and Facebook's adopted it. So just do it. YouTube is probably the one outlier, but even they've now embraced it because they've got YouTube Shorts. So it's just a simple technique. My favorite reasons that you need to use video. These are just some of many stats. They increase brand awareness by 70%. They increase your traffic by 51%, and they say it increases your sales by 34%. You look at my numbers, it is way higher than that. And I will say this, and I say this all the time, and my partners would agree with it, because my partners run the business. I just have helped grow the business at this point, and they will say the one reason we've grown to what we've done is because of Jeff's use of video and social media, period. Period. There's no other reason. It's really hard to grow mortgage. It's really hard to grow real estate. But it's really hard to grow mortgage because what's the differentiator? I answer my phone on nights and weekends. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I'm available this week and answer your call. You don't even answer those calls anymore. We know that, right? So how can you bring value? And that's the way you have to think, and it's obviously through video. Video engages the lazy. I've already mentioned this, but that is, I hate to say it, and I use this word loosely, but that's probably 93% of the world lazy. Most of us just aren't reading shit anymore, right? They're not consuming that way. So do you want to deliver to the 7%? And I'm just totally making up numbers here, but I think it's probably somewhere in there. Or do you want the 93? Really, you want all. Do video. Oops. Video builds trust. Of course, you know this. This one's probably the most important one. Google loves video. What does Google own? YouTube. If you're on YouTube, guess where you have a good chance of showing up at the top of a search? I've never met one agent, nowadays especially, that says, I'm more focused on getting my testimonials on Google. Duh. It's where everybody's searching, right? Google loves video. Google will like you if you shoot more video. Video appeals to mobile users. Of course, we all know we're walking around with computers in our hands. I see a lot of computers, but at the same token, you all know that we're on our mobile devices far more than we're on our computers anymore, especially you realtors. It's just the way it is. It encourages social shares. I also speak on social media, and we talk about the various ways that you can get your content shared by bringing community value. This is a great example. Like, you can't pay for this stuff. You know, in the old days, I've been in the business 22 years, you know, we put our faces on billboards and grocery store carts. Some of you remember this stuff. Newspaper ads. What's a newspaper? Right? You had to pay for that, and it reached the audience that it reached, right? With social, if somebody likes what you have to say, guess what they do? Share. Now they've got 3,000 of their friends that are getting eyeballs on you, and that's what you want. And then, of course, video wins in email marketing. I've already kind of mentioned that. Let's talk about what equipment you need to be using. I'm going to blow your minds here. You guys are all going to be, you're going to walk away from here and be like, holy shit, I had no idea. Start with cameras. A lot of options. Some of you can guess. You do not need any of those. You just need this. That's it. That's your camera. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I shoot the vast majority, and I have videographers, we have teams, I have VAs. I've scaled, right? But by and large, still, even with all of that video that I played in the beginning, that was on a camera. It's on my camera. It's all you need. So don't let your equipment be your excuse when it comes to your camera. You also need one of these, in my opinion. You don't need a stabilizer anymore. They have stabilizers built in. But you should have a tripod. Why? Because I can't stand watching videos of you holding your phone because you're shaking. I just don't like it. And frankly, even you walking through homes holding the phone, I don't like it. I don't want to get motion sickness. If I think that way, I think your audience probably thinks that way too. And also, when you're doing talking head videos, same concept. Don't hold your phone. Prop it up. This is $22.99. This is my favorite one. I have like 6 of them because I keep 2 in my bag, 1 in my home, 1 in my office, 1 in my car, because I never know when I'm going to need a damn tripod, right? Because I'm shooting videos all the time. Just get a tripod. That's it. Very simple. This isn't hard stuff, guys. This is probably one of the more important pieces here. Most of you will not get to a point where Carrie and Dan are, or where I am, or where some of the highest achievers are, to where you literally have video editors, and you have a video team, and you have videographers. I hate people that say that, and I almost did it. It's not videographers, it's videographers. Sorry, I digress. I had an advantage. She's now 18. I have an 18 and 21-year-old. I also have a 3-year-old, for those that follow me. Try to figure that math out. Idiot. She's amazing, by the way. But my 21 and my 18-year-old were my secret weapons. And at the time, this is, again, going back to 2016, so my 18-year-old was 12, 13 at the time. I can still remember her showing me iMovie for the first time, and I was like, holy shit, I can do what? And this is important. And from a very simplistic standpoint, I'm not telling you have to have the editing skills of this picture right here. You need to learn how to edit the video in the beginning, which you can also do on your phone, and you need to learn how you can cut. That's it. So that way you can become more efficient. The whole point is efficiency. If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me, Jeff, I'm shooting this 2-minute video, I'm now up to 2 hours, and I'm pissed off, and I'm just done. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to teach you some things, and editing's one of them. If you can learn how to edit, you're allowed to screw up. Start back to the line where you were, keep going again. You then upload it into one of these apps, and there you go. You are now cutting yourself out. This is just a picture of it. I don't have time to actually do a class on this. There's this thing called YouTube. You can learn how to do this stuff. Oh, we have a school called the Business Video School. If you like a formal setting, I'll share that with you too. You just need to learn how to have some basic editing skills. I think this is critical because I think your videos look like shit if I see this. And then you backing up, and then you kind of getting ready. Just edit that out. And in the end, when you come in to push stop, right, you can cut out your ums. You can cut out the fluff, right? Just get some basic editing skills. This is my favorite app. I like Viva Video. There's a million of them nowadays. Viva Video is just it's a sexy editing app. It's a step up from iMovie. So if you don't have any skills whatsoever, you don't need to complicate this. You don't have to do all the fancy stuff. You just need to know how to cut the front and the back and the middle sometimes, right? That's what you want to do. So just get an editing app and learn how to use it. Oh, did I mention that I have a video school? We offer a lot of free stuff. Feel free to take a picture of this if you like. All it's going to do is we're going to take your email address and just bombard you with spam. I'm kidding. We're not. We're actually going to give you a bunch of free shit. Some people are probably in this video school already. I have partners who run it. They do a really great job. I will tell you this. It's fascinating. We've had this school since right before COVID. We started it off. We launched it. We kind of rushed the launch because of COVID. And there's more. I think the average age of our students is probably, the real estate industry is already old, but it's like 50 to 70. And it always makes me wonder and think, because I see a lot of young people in this room, and I'm not sure if the young people just all know how to have these skills, or if they're just too cocky and they think I don't need to be taught. I don't know. But it's fascinating, and I think it's important for all of you to learn how to do these things. That's why I'm passionate. That's why I'm standing up here. Okay, so this one is the next one that may or may not blow your mind. This is how I hack and cheat and use and how I do video way more efficiently than you do, and I sound a hell of a lot better. You heard of a teleprompter, right? You watch the Oscars, you watch the Grammys, you watch the local news. Every single one of those fuckers is reading what they're saying. They sound amazing, but they're just reading it. You can do that too. And this is my favorite app. There's also Big View is another popular one. That's what we teach in the school. I like Prompt Smart Pro. It's just a tad more advanced, and I like the settings in it. I'm actually going to show you how to use it if technology works. This is what I do. So, you get an idea for a video, right? And if you could shoot it right in the moment, it might be perfect. But it probably wouldn't, because I've done this too. I've gone live when I have this thought process. And even then, when I press that live button, and I speak all the time, I do millions of videos, I get just a little nervous, right? And the words just don't flow. They just don't. If the words flow for you, you are in a very, very, very small minority. I do this a lot. So what I learned was, when I learned about this, I was like, damn, so when I have an idea, I can brain dump that idea into a script, upload it into here, and now when I shoot the video, it's going to be crisp and perfect, and there's going to be no ums. And yes, you actually have to be authentic. You can't be a robot. You'll learn. You practice. This is an absolute hack that will allow you to shoot better videos. And I always put it in real estate context. Think about it. You're all writing listing captions. It's basically a script. Maybe change a few things. There's your script. Now go take that tripod, take your phone, stand in the kitchen of the new listing, read the teleprompter that nobody knows you're reading, and you sound pretty damn good. People are going to remember this stuff. Here's an example. This was just a promo for something I was speaking at, but this will show you kind of how it works. I actually think I was watching this last night, I think I shot this in horizontal, because usually when you're shooting it, and I'm going to show you here in a second, it kind of looks like I'm looking slightly off, but you definitely can't tell I'm reading. Oh. Does that video not work? Anyone?
I love cold calling, prospecting, and constantly chasing business. Said no one ever. And that is why I'll be joining you guys on Wednesday, June 23rd to share some of the video and marketing strategies that have catapulted
I guess
our
my eyes aren't
business
looking
to
at the...
levels never thought imaginable. I'm Jeff Pfitzer.
I'm reading
and I'll
all
be
of
sharing
this.
some of the video techniques that I use, which make shooting video simple and effective. I know that video can be a very daunting proposition for many, which is why I've focused on trying to find ways to make it easier with minimal equipment so that I can create differentiation from my...
You get the point. And I want to do it for you live, because I want to show you, you know what's worse than standing on a stage at a real estate conference? Shooting a video of yourself in front of a group of people and trying not to screw up. This is going to be fun. But that's okay if I do. It's okay if I do. Let's see if this works. Can you guys see if my phone will pick up here? Jeopardy music, please. Thank you. Bueller? No? It's not picking up? Ah, there we are. All right, here we go. Okay, so go to my apps. First of all, you can kind of see my family in the background. I got a beautiful family. I don't know how I fooled them. Okay, so I wrote a script for this. This is what it looks like. So I'll write them. I save everything in Dropbox, but I just write them in a Word document, and then I'll just go copy and paste it and put it in here, right? I'm not going to give you a tutorial how to use the app. It's pretty easy. I'm going to show you how easy it is to shoot a video, right? So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to press the play button. It's going to pop me up. I'm doing what I told you not to do, by the way. Don't hold the camera, but this is only for this purpose, right? And then it's smart technology, so it's listening to what I'm saying, right? So the words are going to scroll as I say them. And I still screw this up too. And sometimes I'll show you, because I might screw up. We'll see what happens here. This is totally on the spot. HyperFast agents creating HyperFast videos. Efficiency at everything we do in business. And see, now it's not working, of course. See, this is what happens. It could be because the thing's plugged in, but let's try it again. So I'm just going to stop. This is actually great because it shows you. Sometimes I'll just stop, start over from the new line. Sometimes I'll just discard it and start all over again, right? So I'm going to delete that. Let's try it again. See if it works. Makes it a whole lot better if it works. HyperFast agents creating HyperFast videos. Efficiency at everything we do in business is a key to success. I create, on average, 10 to 20 videos per week in my business. Damn thing. Not including BombBomb. Imagine if each video took me 30 minutes to 2 hours to create. That would be my full-time job. I ain't got time for that. And that is why I'm always seeking efficiencies to allow me to shoot more video at a higher quality than my competition and with the utmost eloquence and professionalism. Nobody wants to watch a video full of ums or you rambling on for 5+ minutes. So I've learned that taking the extra 5 to 15 minutes, when my brain is in the groove, to script out my videos, upload them to my teleprompter, and bam! I'm banging out videos like Tom Brady wins Super Bowls. Often. So the next time you're thinking about your next video topics, brain dump them into your scripts, upload them to Prompt Smart Pro or whichever teleprompter app you prefer, knock out more high-quality videos, and send me a thank you. I'm going to save that and post it. So here's the thing. And we can go back to the presentation. That wasn't perfect. And that's okay. Because when you do this for the first time, you're going to be like a robot, right? There was even a time when I caught myself saying a word and then resaid it correctly. I leave that shit in there because it makes it look like I'm authentic. I'm just rambling. So you're going to get the groove with this kind of stuff, but I'm telling you right now. In fact, it's funny. I have a new social media manager, and I told her I'm going to send her this presentation just because I want her to just clean it up and make it look sexy for me. And she was giving me all these notes, and she said, number 11 slide, which was the teleprompter one. She goes, I feel like an idiot. I didn't even know that existed. I'm like, really? No shit. Okay, cool. And it's so freaking easy. You just gotta brain dump. You'll learn how to script better, but I'm telling you right now, because I know what some of you are thinking, that scripting takes me 5 to 15 minutes, sometimes 2. But if you catch yourself in the groove, words will come easy, right? And you just type away. You're going to learn, okay, how long do I want my videos to be? I'm about 1.5 minutes. It's probably a little too long in a lot of people's opinions, but because of what I'm teaching, social media and those kind of things, I need that time. You can do this. You know why I started doing this? I'm going to show you another technique in a second. TikTok. Because originally, TikTok only gave me 15 seconds. That was really hard. Then it went to 60 seconds. Now I've got 3 minutes, so it's no problem. But that was why. I learned that when I'm putting out messages, it's really hard to get out that message in less than 60 seconds. So I had to start scripting. And here's another technique that I use, a jump cut technique. This is really a TikTok, Instagram, Reels style. If you're familiar with that, you know you push the play button, stop, play, stop, right? Jump cuts is a very popular style. It's like when you're watching a YouTube video, there's lots of cuts. It's very subtle, but if you know what you're watching for, there's just lots of cuts. All that is whoever the creator is they probably screwed up, and they cut, and then they connected, and then they cut, and then they connected. I do this jump cut style. I've done this many times when I'm creating TikToks. So what I do is, same concept. I script it, but I script it in one-liners. So then what I'm doing is, I was at my lake condo here, and I look at my phone. Well, I look at my computer in this case. I look at my script, and I memorize the first line. Take a guess who will make up, stop. Look back down, next line, stop. Next line, do it, stop, right? Jump cuts. That's all I'm doing. It's a way to hack video. It's a way so that you have no fluff, no ums, no nothing. I'll play this one for you.
Take a guess. Who will make up 70% of new U.S. homeowners by 2040?
Jump cut.
70%. Did you
Jump
guess Hispanics?
Jump
That's
cut.
right. Young Hispanic households
You see that?
will lead the explosion as they are expected to triple over the next 2 decades. And you know I'm always talking about positioning yourself for future success. Marketing to millennials and Gen Z is important as it relates to generations. But Hispanics, by far and away, are going to be the biggest ethnic group to consider building a marketing plan around. Do you have a Latino division of your company or brokerage? Do you have Spanish-speaking members of your team? Well, you should. So pay attention to the data.
That's it. And that's how you can create videos, because you see how just put together that is, right? Again, this is scripting. I'm changing the way you're thinking. You got to just think about writing down what's in your head. When you're on the treadmill, when you're driving, they always come to you at the worst times. Make a little note in your phone, go back later and write out a script. But you can see how you can even take like this. I used to create a lot of this content where I would just follow real estate industry stuff, blogs, and I would take the information from the article and put it into a video. This is how, you guys have seen this. This isn't new, but this is what you need to be doing. You need to be doing this kind of stuff, but you need to be using these techniques so you don't look like an idiot, right? Or you don't talk too much, because nobody wants that. And it really does, I will intentionally throw in ums every once in a while because it does make you look human. You don't want to be perfect all the time. But the reality is, and I did this, and one of my old presentations, I used to show the very first Facebook Live I did. It was like 5-6 minutes, typical for a Facebook Live, I think, which is way too long, by the way. But back then, it got thousands of views because I was one of the first doing it. I counted in the first minute and a half, 43 ums. You're like, damn, I had no idea I said that much. And this is the kind of stuff you guys need to be doing, because I hear this too. I shoot video, I have to post it. If I watch it, I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to argue that point and say you need to be watching yourself, not for vanity purposes, but to get better. Because you need to be counting those ums. You need to learn that when you're talking to the camera, the best way to eliminate ums is just pausing. Just pause. That's it. Practice this. Practice is so critical. This is the third component that I also think is so important. And the one thing that annoys me the most with videos is how all of us lead videos. When I say all of us, I'm not including myself, because you'll never catch me dead doing this. But how many of you have started your videos with, "Hey guys, happy Monday." Shut up, don't say that. I get it. You just got nervous, and it's the way you start. This is why you're listening to me today, because I'm going to tell you to change your mindset and think before you start your video, and especially when you go live. Now, I don't know what it is. You could start your live and you're like, I got it. Hey guys, fuck. So think about this stuff, right? Think about how you can start with a hook, which is creating intrigue. You notice when I walked up here today, I didn't say, hey guys. That happens a lot in conferences as well. And it's simply just a one-liner. You ask a question, you tease something, you think about it. You're standing, you guys all do this. I'm sure most of you have stood in front of a listing at some point and you started your video with, hey guys. But what you should have done was you should have said, what's a really cool feature of the house? Does it have a really sexy pool? Do they have a brand new renovated kitchen? Do they have a cool finished basement? Whatever it is, lead with that. You should see the brand new renovated kitchen in my new listing. Because think about that intrigue that you're now creating. Like, listen, you're not going to go viral. I'm sorry. There's just too much of this stuff. But that's not the point. The point is you want to grab more people that say, I want to see this kitchen. Right? So then they stick with your video, which is just creating more branding for you. And hell no, who knows? Maybe you'll sell a house. But that's the point. Be good at hooks. If you're going to do videos, always lead with a hook. I even lead with hooks when I'm doing personal videos. Just because it's so ingrained in me now, because I cannot stand, and I'd be a hypocrite if I led with, hey guys. Then that's really the most important, but this is the structure that I pretty much promote for videos. You lead with that hook, then you say, hey, it's Jeff with XYZ Realty. And you don't even really have to do that because you're on social media. They can see it's my page, but if you want to throw an intro in there, hook first, give intrigue, tease the video, what it's going to be about, then introduce yourself, then tell a story by all accounts. If you can tell a story, give the facts, talk about the history of the property, talk about the family that's selling, talk about the memories that they created there. If you can give a feeling with your audience, it's going to suck people into you. Maybe they're not interested in buying that house, but man, they're going to like your stuff, and they're going to want to listen to you talk more often. And then lastly, the one thing a lot of people forget to do, give them something to do. If you don't give a call to action, and I hear this from YouTubers a lot, their YouTube channels changed when they started to ask for stuff at the end. Ask for something. What should they do next? Subscribe to my newsletter. Go to my website. Here's a link that you can go check this property out. Take action. Go follow me. Comment. Let me know what you think. Like this. Give me some love. And I know some of you are thinking, because I've been teased for this, you have to ask for likes. You have to ask for comments. Yeah, you actually do. We're lazy, remember? We just do this. Stop. Ooh, this is really cool. Keep moving. I sometimes have to catch myself. Damn, I got to show more love. So ask for it. If you ask for it, they'll give it to you. So just create a call to action in every one of your videos. It's very important. I'm going to show you some examples. So what I did, this is actually a couple of years ago. I called one of my realtor buddies in St. Louis and said, hey man, you got some listings that I can just go to just see what I can come up with. And I had no premonition of what really was at the listing other than the first one, because I knew you're going to see it. So I had to come prepared. But this is an example of how you can just create video hooks. And in this case, they're actually non-verbal, but I'm not doing, hey guys, I'm just creating intrigue. I want my audience to be like, what's he up to? And you'll see what I mean here. If you guys noticed, not very tall in stature. I can't dunk a basketball. I came prepared. I brought a ladder. I brought a basketball. And I shot that video so you couldn't see I was jumping off a ladder. But you know what? If I played that listing, if you played that, because you've all falling in the pool, right? And I'm not discounting that. It's kind of been overplayed, but it's still kind of funny, right? If you can get creative with it, it's cool. But that's the kind of thing, like think outside the box. Obviously, I've done the shower videos. I've done the bathtub videos. Most people don't appreciate it as much as you ladies doing it. But it creates intrigue, right? People are like, what the hell is he doing, right? These are just some simple examples. So this house was staged, and this is really simple. It's actually got a slow intro, but that was kind of the point. I want to see, I kind of want to just grab your attention, like, okay, what is he doing?
It doesn't take a scholar to figure out that this new listing at 1888 Fox Point in Arnold is going to sell fast.
Very simple. Just use what the listing gives you. Lemons. I did 2 of these.
This new listing at 1888 Fox Point in Arnold is no lemon.
Totally cheesy. Totally cheesy, but that's what they want. You got to go cheesy.
This new listing at 1888 Fox Point in Arnold is no lemon. This new listing at 1888 Fox
This is
Point
editing in
in
iMovie, by the
Arnold
way, the most basic
is
editing
no
app.
lemon.
You start a video like that, people are like, that's fun, like that's cool, like that I like that guy, and that's the name of the game here. That's what you're trying to do here. You're just trying to create, you're trying to suck the people in, get them to like you, create the parasocial relationships, and you cannot do that in text. I'm sorry, you can't. It's not possible. You can do it in video. People give in to the person they see the most. I'm living proof of this. I'm seen more than everybody in here. I guarantee you that. That's why I have so many opportunities. It's very simple. I get to play golf with professional golfers like Bob West just because he sees me on social media and thinks I'm cool. I've totally tricked him. Bob's very cool. This is my favorite. I think I coined this one, actually. But my shitty video will outperform your absent video all day long. Doesn't matter how bad you are. Just do it. Get over it. My early videos suck, too. My current videos might suck. I don't care. I don't care. Now, granted, I've gotten good at making them good, and I have editors and such, but you don't necessarily need that. You just need to use the tools that I gave you today, right? And oh, by the way, you should learn from guys like Tristan, and I think Carrie and Dan have them too, but having VAs in the Philippines, they're good. I've got one VA for one of my content strategies. He's writing scripts for me. He's writing scripts. I've got editors. You know, I'm doing all kinds of cool stuff, and I still shoot a lot of my own stuff and edit a lot of my own stuff. But there's so many tools that you have out there. It's not for everybody. I love this stuff. You may not love it, but you feel like you need it. It's like prospecting. You got to do it, right? Video is, I look at it the same way. So we're getting close. How are we doing on time? I know I've got 10 minutes per the sign, but I'm trying to be mindful. See that gal back there? Look at her. She's so awesome. She's done a great job today. That's Kim. Okay, I'll keep going then. I told you I was going to just tease you a little bit. Additional video tips. This is simple stuff. This is from the video school, but this is kind of important. Lighting. Know how to face the camera. Know where the light should be. Face your light source. The camera should sit in between. So in other words, my back shouldn't be to that window. I should be facing the window. The camera should be at me because the natural light's coming in at my face. Overhead lighting sucks. It sucks even worse for guys like me because my head shines. Overhead lighting is not good. So actually, it's funny because I have a studio office at my house, and my wife wanted me to, she didn't realize this, and I'm like, my videographer said, actually get rid of the ceiling fan because it's terrible. Just have direct light. So, and you can buy all this stuff. You can get ring lights. There's so many options for lights on Amazon, very inexpensive. Natural light is always the best. I know there's, Michelle and I were talking about this last night. We were talking about filters and things like that. Like that's, for us guys, this is a lot easier because we don't put on makeup. We usually just roll out of bed and roll out the door. And I know that that's not the same for most of you ladies. But the reality is that, you got to do what's going to make you feel the best. But remember that you're the face of the brand, right? It's not your brokerage. No offense to any of your brokers, but you don't want to promote them. You want to promote you, right? So having the best lighting to kind of put your best foot forward is so important. Audio tips. Nowadays, the audio on your phone is perfectly adequate. But for those of you that go out to restaurants or you shoot videos in public, just use a lav mic. Get a lav mic that plugs in. It's a wired, you actually use your old school headphones, but just get a lav mic. They're like $15. You clip it on here. A lot of the videos I do, if I shoot them in my office, in my basement, at my house, it almost sounds like I'm in a studio. I don't like the sound of it. It's not the end of the world, but all I do is clip on a lav mic and I sound freaking awesome. It sounds really good. Get one of those. So that's the lapel mic that they mentioned there. And of course, just know the range of your camera. If your audio sucks, your video is going to suck. And then nobody's going to watch it. So make sure the audio is good. Again, I'm going to repeat this, but I will also say the thing they point out here is a lot of these, and including the one that I showed you, comes with a little Bluetooth remote. So then it actually makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to necessarily edit in and out. It's so easy to do. But if you have a Bluetooth remote, that just gives you a little extra hack. Here's a hack that I honestly didn't know. Your volume buttons are your stop and start. Yeah. So go into your video camera, and if you're actually shooting video, just hit either one of the buttons, and it starts it, and hit the other button to stop it. So in that time that you have to hold your camera, there are times when you do, But when you have to hold your camera, you can do that. It's a little hack. It's pretty cool. Here's one more hack, and there's a couple reasons why we say this. The original reason why we said this was because, you know, a lot of times you want to shoot the same video, and you wanted to optimize it for Instagram and Facebook, but Facebook optimized landscape and Instagram was portrait. Well, you can just use a rubber band and put your phones together and record at the same time. Now Facebook is totally fine with vertical, but here's the other reason why. I carry a burner phone. I don't know if anybody else does. Like, I keep one of my old phones. Why? Because if I want to go live on the same platform at the same time, I don't know why these stupid social media platforms don't allow you to do that. You just have to do it with two phones. Or sometimes I'm shooting video and I want like a side shot I want different angles of myself, because when you learn how to edit, you can clip and you can do jump cuts. It's kind of fun. This is just a hack. I mean, having a burner phone, having a second phone, it's not for my girlfriends. My wife would murder me. Literally, if you've met my wife, she would kill me. It's so I can shoot video. It's just for video. So carry. So next time you trade in your phone for the new model, save the old one. Unless you get just one hell of a rebate. But save the phone. You might use it. This is very simple. You notice how I do this, and I will say this before I wrap up. When you go to most real estate conferences, and I've been going to real estate conferences, and I MC the Lab Coat Agent events. I get to host the podcast. Selfishly, I get to meet everybody. Like, I'm become friends with, you guys have heard of Brad McCallum, or the Ken Poseks, or Ed Stulak, or Bob Tompkins, or Noel Nielsen. They're all my friends, right? And the one thing that I kind of learn, I sit at these conferences and I watch these influencers, and I'm like, you guys are fucking amazing. You're really, really good at video, but I think this is way too intimidating for the vast majority of this audience. And actually, I think it goes against what you're trying to teach. Because Brad McCallum, if you don't follow him, he's an agent out of Calgary in Canada. His stuff is amazing. And guess what? He does a lot of it himself. I don't have those skills. You guys aren't going to have those skills. So start simple. This is why I teach this stuff. Because I'm like, why is nobody talking to the masses? How can we make this barrier of entry easier? So if you use some of these tools today, it'll make it easier. And by the way, you have to practice. So I know when you think to yourself, I shoot a video, I can't watch it. I'm telling you, you do. You have to practice. Shoot a video not with any intent to do anything with it. Just shoot it for practice. So you notice when I was reading that script, I was not monotone. That takes practice. It takes practice to read a script and talk as if you were talking live. And that's what you have to do. So practice. Really easy. I'll give this again because we really do want to promote the use of video. So if you didn't get this before, grab it now. And if you didn't get it, and if you don't get it and you decide later you want to get it, shame on you. No, kidding. Follow me on social media and just DM me. I'm seriously available on all the platforms. I make myself available to everybody. I love to, oh, sorry, did you not get it? You got it? Go find me. There's not a link? Oh. Go find me. If we're not friends, where do you spend time? Let's be friends. And seriously, shoot me a DM. If you have any questions about any of the stuff I talked about today, I will respond to you. Sometimes it might be a couple of days. Sometimes it might be within the minute. So seriously, reach out. There's an agent in my market here, Kelly Fowler. She reaches out to me all the time. She's always like, I posted something and it fucked up. Help me. And I just laugh. And she figures it out. It's all good. But seriously, reach out to me. Thank you guys for having me here. This is awesome. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Thank you to Carrie and Dan and Dustin.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and go to hyperfastagent.com to learn about upcoming in-person and online events. And don't forget to share this show with someone that you think could benefit from hearing it, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube or anywhere that you can find podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos.